Hey there, boys, girls, and otherwise. Today we've got the Keysmart. Alright, so this here is one of my favorite EDC items that I have tested. I will never get rid of this. I will never be caught without this, a different Keysmart or something similar. This, to me, is fantastic. Simply because I have an issue with the sound of keys jingling. One of my biggest pet peeves. I hate the sound of keys jingling. I hate the sound of change. Anything like that, where if I'm walking and it's consistently making a sound every time I take a step, annoys the tar out of me. Cannot stand it. So, I decided when I wasn't making very much money, I thought, you know what, I'm going to spend the extra money and get this. And I thought, you know what, this is going to be my saving grace, and I love it. It's fantastic. Does exactly what I wanted it to do. So maybe I'm a little biased when it comes to this. So, general idea of how this thing works. Your keys are on a pivot. So this here, this screw goes the whole way through both sides of this, and it goes right through the little holes in the back of the key that you would typically put the key ring through. And then it's got, and I'll show you, I'll take this apart, it's got little plastic spacers that go between each of these keys. That way they're not catching on each other and rubbing, and you don't rub the key off or rub a hole, or I'm sorry, not a hole, rub a ridge on the inside of this metal sidebar. So the Keysmart company, they now make, they make all kinds of stuff. They make all kinds of different add-ons. When I purchased my Keysmart, this was one of the biggest add-ons right here, was this loop, so that you can clip something else onto it. So, like I have my car key, my 7-Eleven card, my gym card, and a pair of nail clippers, which, if you don't do that already, putting a pair of nail clippers on your key ring is great. I get hangnails all the time, and it's fantastic. So, it comes with this little guy here, which is just a double-sided like carabiner clip here. And it's got this little guy inside, so you push it that way, and come on, focus, not going to do it, okay. It goes there, and it keeps you from being able to push in on that, so it locks everything on this little hook. So you twist it this way, it'll come down, and you just slip it on there. And then, of course, you lock it back up so that nothing flies off. So this is what I have in my pocket. And yeah, it does make a little bit of sound, but it's pretty much just my nail clippers banging off of my key fob. So, let me take this off here. Now, the Keysmart company has so many accessories that you can put on this thing. They have a little folding knife. They have a little screwdriver. They've got a little flashlight. They have a mini USB flash drive that you can put on. They just have all sorts of things. They have this with, if you know what a tile is, it's like a GPS tracking type thing. I don't even know what you would call it. That was originally for losing your phone or your car keys. They have a Keysmart that has a tile integrated into it, so you'll never lose your keys as long as you can get on the internet. That to me, I lose my keys maybe once a year, and it's for about 10 minutes. So that has no appeal to me. Now, I've had this thing for probably 2 years now. No, it's been longer than that. Probably 3 years. And that is all the more worn out that it gets. And I keep everything in the pocket with my keys. I keep a pen in there. I keep a small notebook in there. I keep my dip can in there. I keep all kinds of things in my left pocket with this. So it's in there banging around with this clump of jazz and whatever miscellaneous things I need to put in my pocket that day. So I really, really like it for organization of keys. You don't have a big key ring that you have to flip through. That's what my dad does. He's got a key ring like that. And, he just flips through keys to find them. This thing here, I pull it out, go, oh, okay. The one with 3 sides on it, there's the house key. Boom, there's the office key. There's my rental house key. There's a key for, I don't even know what that key's for. I should probably take it off. But, I know exactly where it is. I don't have to flip through a bunch of keys. Now, this does have in it the shorter screws. It comes with longer screws that you can get to for the, they call it the extension. And it will make it so that you can fit, I forget how many it is. You can fit like 12 keys on this thing. That would make it pretty big. I don't keep a lot of keys with me. I have probably 2 or 3 of these clips. Depending on what I'm doing, I'll put this clip on. I have one clip that I have dedicated to just my motorcycle keys. When I'm working here in Florida, this is my dedicated clip because these are all things that I use in Florida. This car key, the 7-Eleven. I don't have any 7-Elevens in Pennsylvania. This gym is a privately owned gym down here in Florida. And then on my other ones, which I keep in Pennsylvania, I have my motorcycle key. I have my my tractor keys. I have my truck keys on one. I've got all kinds of things on there. Hey, watch out. So this thing to me is fantastic. It also serves as, I've found you can use it as a bottle opener. Just put the bottle cap on here and good to go. I don't think that's an intended function, but I had a few too many cocktails one night and decided that that was something I needed to try out, and it worked very well. It keeps your keys from jingling. That was the main reason for me to buy this bad boy. It's fantastic. I love that. I cannot stand that sound. Biggest pet peeve. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this thing apart. I'm going to tear it down to where just the keys are hanging out, and I'll show you the one thing about this guy that I really don't like so much. Actually, I guess there are 2 things that I want to show you that I don't like. So it's just a flathead screw that goes in there, and I don't take it and tighten it down with a screwdriver because it's also the retention for how much effort you have to put into to make these keys come out. So the tighter you get that, the harder those are to push down and pull out. So I just keep it, medium tightness. Once it tightens up and it's got a little bit of pressure on it, it's fine. Those do have a little tendency to work out, which is one of the things that I don't really care for. It should be Loctited now. It does have little rubber gaskets, or not gaskets, little rubber almost washers that go between the screw and this side plate, and that does put a fair amount of retention on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one side apart because it's a real pain to take both sides. Yeah, you know what? I'll take both sides apart. It'll be fine. So you take that guy most of the way out, and then you come over here and undo this one. Oh man, there's some fine thread, long-winded screws, so it takes forever to get them in and out. Which for me is not a problem because I don't swap out the keys that are on this key bar very often. All right, so that one's out, and there you can see the little rubber washer or gasket that fits down in that hole. Oh yeah, see now, there goes my little clip flying away on me. All right, we'll just put that down there so I don't lose it. All right, and since that came out, I'll show you that. That is one of the little, I don't know if it's cork or cardboard or what it is. One of the little washers. That is the one that goes between the side here, the side of the key bar and the key to keep it from putting, oh, there goes another one, putting a mark on the inside here or taking all this blue coloring off. Not a real big deal, but I just wanted to continue to look nice, so I'll take these keys off. Might end up actually reorganizing them now that I have this all apart. Okay, so we'll take that off, knock the little washers off. Okay, so here we have the bare keyboard. Now, that is incredibly thin, so it doesn't get to be big and cumbersome in your pocket. I mean, it's a tiny little thing. It comes with 2 of the standard size screws, and man, I wish I would have looked it up to see how many the standard size screws are supposed to hold. I'm sure it's probably changed now, so now even looking it up might not be accurate, because they probably give you longer screws or it's more efficient or some junk like that. So, okay, here is the other thing that I don't like about this. So, this is what I would call the nut end of the of where this little screw goes in. So, it goes in there like such. It's only that thick. So, just to show you, that's 1 key on there. That's over half of the length of that taken up. So, as you saw before I took it apart, I had 3 keys on one side. So, the hardest, and I mean the hardest thing to do with this guy, is you take your screw, you stick it through that hole, and then when you push that little rubber washer in, it'll stay in there pretty well by itself. Okay, so I'll push both of those in. So you've got it like this now. Now mind you, neither of these are secured to this side plate by any means other than the friction of that rubber holding them in there. So that is where you have to put your keys on. So you thread that on there, and you know, I'll just, for the sake of argument, put 2 keys and my little clip on there. So you have to put it on this side, on the side with the screw. There it's already trying to come out on me just because of how many keys I have on there, and it's kind of pushing down. So what you have to do then is hold all those keys and things on there, put this other side plate on, and while holding that all together and keeping it straight so that it doesn't cross thread, you have to turn this screw in. Now, is it super hard? Now that I've done it a few times and I know how I have to hold it? No, it's not terrible. Is it inconvenient? You bet your bananas it is. But it's a pain. Like, I don't understand how you're supposed to hold all of that together and run that screw in there, and then you've got these little guys that you're trying to get between each of these keys. So if you let the keys just dangle, like I showed you just now, and then run the screw in there, those little guys, those little cardboard washers are falling all over the place, and keeping everything lined up is not easy. So, I mean, that's a design flaw. Now, I've sat down and thought about how I would design it differently so that you didn't have that issue, and I'm not entirely sure how I would change it. The only thing that I can think of that would be better is if you made this guy here the nut end, that the female end of this whole mechanism here. If you made it longer and removable, because then you could stick this through the other side, and then put your screw in. The only downfall that I see with that is your 2 things. You're limited to how many keys you can put on because of the length of this, but you're already limited due to the length of this screw. And you may not have enough keys to put on to put on this thing, that you want to put on this thing, to take up, that much. You may have, I think I have, I've had 6 keys on here, 3 to a side at any given point, and this size has worked very well. So let's say you want to put 6 on a side. So that means this is going to be about that wide. If you only have, instead of 12 keys, you only have 10, you're going to have that little post sticking out the side a little bit further. So, I mean, that's kind of my idea to fix that little design flaw. Am I going to do anything about it? Absolutely not. I'm going to use it the way that it is. And maybe you guys have some other way that you think would work better. Let me know in the comments, and we'll discuss and see if maybe there's something that I can try and temp up or fabricate or something, and we'll see if it works better. I mean, like I originally said, this thing works great. I think there's one that's called the Key Bar too. I've looked at getting that one, but that was a long time ago. I don't know if it has that same design flaw to it or not. But I would think that it would. But I'm not sure. I haven't researched it too much. I just know the general function of it is very similar to this. They have little dongles you can put on here that are glow in the dark in case you drop your keys in the dark and you don't have something to look for them with. I think they have a little flashlight that you can actually put on this. I mean, they've got all kinds of little accessories that you can put on here. I really do like this thing. It has worn very well as far as I'm concerned. I believe that this is powder coated. It's not a cheap coating. It feels like metal. It still has a little bit of the pressure cut steel feel to it. So, I mean, this thing works very, very well. I would say that if you thought about getting it, I would definitely get it, because it works just like you think it does. I know that in a lot of catalogs and on a lot of the 10 best Christmas gift articles, this or something similar has been on there. I can only speak to the Keysmart because that's the one that I have. I can't say anything about the mag bar. I'm sorry, not the mag bar, the key bar, because I don't have a key bar. I do have a mag bar though. So like I said, if you were thinking about getting it, definitely get it because it's worth it. It's worth buying. I really don't have much bad to say about this thing other than the fact that it has that design flaw, and the screw has a tendency to back out, which is nothing that a little Loctite wouldn't fix. I mean, I don't like putting Loctite on things because I feel like I shouldn't have to. It should function properly when I buy it, but that's besides the point. So now that I've made a mess of my kitchen island here, doggone ants! I think I had that problem in the last video. Stinking ants, get. Sorry about the weird cut there. I was editing this video, the little bit of editing that I do, and I noticed that in the last section of the video, the audio was gone. There was no audio to it whatsoever. It was just video. So here's my little outro. Like I said, Keysmart, this is the extended version. They call it the Keysmart Extended. So if you're wanting to buy this exact one, it's called a Keysmart Extended. The little design flaw that I found, if you guys have any ideas on how to maybe fabricate something up so that it fixes that issue, that would be fantastic. Let me know in the comments. If you want, I could fabricate something, and then do another video on it and see how it works after that. So the Keysmart is something, like I said, that I will always have in my EDC. it's a fantastic tool. It does exactly what I want. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.